Hello, everyone. Good evening. Welcome to Indian Racing Community Season 8, Tier 1, the top of the line, the fastest boys that we have available on the F1 game. This is going to be a really fun evening of racing as we head to the, uh, let's just say, the land of. It's not a very popular track, let's say, among the F1 community, but we're heading to China for round 3 of Season 8, and the season has gotten off to a spicy start. We've had two separate race winners and two races, so it's been a pretty interesting start to the season. And I'm joined in the commentary box by alphabot and SSJassassin. How are you guys doing?
I'm good, Etzel. Thank you for asking. I hope you're doing great as well. Alphabot at the moment has gone for a short break. He will be back in a minute or two.
Yep. So we should be heading into the session anytime now. China is always one of those tracks that throws up something, throws up a good race, let's say. So really looking forward to this one. We had good races in Tier 3 and Tier 2, both the races which were streamed earlier on during the weekend. So we had really good races there, good variety of sort of changing weather, and also we had many safety cars yesterday in the Tier 2 race. Before we head into qualifying and have a look at where our drivers are today, let's have a quick look at the track guide. So China, 5.4 kilometers, 16 turns, a track where tire wear is going to be the name of the game. The hard tires are probably going to be on usage more than once. Important places to look out for is that snail section coming onto the back straight. Shanghai International Circuit coming up to turn 1, a difficult corner to get right, decreasing radius, long right-hander, utilize engine braking more than the brakes to slow down the car through turn 2, second gear through turn 3, but important to short shift for turn 4 to avoid losing traction. Slight kink at turn 5 before slowing the car down for 6th. Down to first gear for extra rotation, but then quickly up through the gearbox as the track opens up for the high-speed run through turns 7 and 8, staying as far left as possible for turn 7, opening up turn 8, little dab on the brakes, and use the engine braking as we head down to the double left of 9 and 10. Important to stay within track limits as we power towards the heavy braking zone of turn 11, a potential overtaking opportunity, but also maybe wise to hold off as we near the back straight. Important to get a good exit out of 12 and 13 to shoot you down the massive back straight. DRS open, cars can catch up in the tow from quite far back. This is the main overtaking opportunity, one of the longest straights in F1. Important to retain your ERS for this back straight here. Coming down into turn 14, tight hairpin down to first gear, short shift up through the gearbox to avoid losing the rear as you have one corner left at turn 16. Crucial to carry as much speed as possible without invalidating a lap, and that is a lap of the Shanghai International Circuit. And we're back from the track guide. Really good lap there by Oxygen in the Red Bull. I believe he is driving for Alpha Tauri today, so should be pretty interesting. Actually, Oxygen might be a permanent driver in the grid. I don't think he's a reserve, so he might be driving for Red Bull. A little bit of confusion, but no issues. Alphabot is back. So Alphabot, you were on the podium yesterday, the China race. Any insights you can provide about this? Let's say a polarizing track.
Yeah, so I guess strategy calls, it's either one or the other. I doubt there's going to be many. It's either soft hard or hard soft, because you're not going to try to qualify in the top 10 on mediums, because the mediums are around 1.5 seconds a lap slower. So I doubt even if you set a blistering pace, blistering lap, you'll be in the top 10 on mediums. And if you're outside the top 10, you'd rather go on hard soft, which is actually, I think, fastest strategy. Hard medium could be faster, but that depends on safety cars. But other than that, it's mostly about keeping it clean, because a lot of people do make mistakes, as we could see in yesterday and today's race. Keep it clean, go for some risky overtakes, because it's not really easy to get overtakes around here. But yeah, keep it clean and keep your pace up, and you can definitely perform well around here.
think the one constant element that we've seen at China in a number of tiers and in the past as well is the ever-present safety car. And even though it is tier one, and these boys are the best of the best that we have available, and they are um, pretty much the fastest boys available on IRC in terms of F1. With the introduction of no assist this season, we might see a couple of spins, a couple of incidents, but also because the championship battle is now starting to take a bit of shape, we're going to see a little bit more wheel to wheel action, and as a result we might see some contact, some unfortunate contact, let's say. So the safety car is never out of question even when the standards are so high, but the safety car frequency is turned down for our session, to prevent having a safety car every 2 seconds. So we might still see at least one or two safety cars, which will definitely mix up the strategy, and we'll see some guys maybe pitting onto the medium tires, hoping for another safety car towards the end. Or we saw today in the tier 3 race, a lot of guys lasting until the end, 23, 24 lap old mediums. So anything's possible when it comes to strategy.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, I think you will be banking on a lot of safety cars like it was yesterday. You like I guess up till lap 20 you didn't know who's going to be in the net race lead. So it's very, you have to think on your feet, and a right or wrong strategy call can really decide your race around here, because it's just so important that you make your safety car calls here correct. So I guess that way starting on the hards gives you the most it gives you the most options, because pretty much any safety car after, I guess, lap 10, you can go onto the mediums and you can drive to the end on the mediums. So then you'd just be saving a lot of time any lap from 10 to I guess about 25 when you can pit for softs.
As you can see on your screen right now, the weather forecast just flashed up for us. Seems to be a mostly cloudy qualifying and a similar weather arrangement for the race as well. So we should see something pretty straightforward when it comes to the weather forecast. Pretty clear skies, so a mostly dry race, which awaits our tier 1 boys, as everyone is just getting to grips with the qualifying session, probably having a look at the weather forecast, making sure they're getting onto the right setups, because obviously the setup changes a little bit when it comes to mixed conditions or for wet conditions. So you have to plan in advance. If the race is going to be wet and the quali is going to be dry, you have to prioritize qualifying position versus pace in the race. Although I know most guys are going to be prioritizing race pace more than quali. Anyways, seeing a couple of returning drivers to the grid. We have Babaji making his debut in Tier 1. Well, not debut in Tier 1. He's doing his first race this season, having missed the first two races. Just getting those tires warmed up. There's Ashray in the Aston Martin, who did well to pick up his first points of the season. But yeah, Baba is returning to the grid in the Mercedes. Will be partnering Tanish as teammates. So interesting to see how he will line up coming into the race with not much practice, if not no practice. We also have in P15 currently still sitting in the pit lane Charles Legg, who was former Tier 2 champion a couple of seasons ago in the McLaren also. I believe he is a Tier 1 reserve, so one of the McLarens is not racing today. I believe Wilster is not racing today, if I'm not wrong. So yeah, he'll be partnering Aradhya Gupta in the Papaya Orange McLaren car, in the second McLaren car, I should say. So yeah, interesting grid for the constructors standings. Briefly flash up there as well. But who are you guys looking forward to in terms of picking up pole today, and more importantly, having a good result in the race?
But if you ask me, Pole is definitely going for Moto because I've seen him put in a lot of hours into practicing for this track, and he's pretty determined to get a good result here, especially after a not so successful race in Portimao last week. So I can bet that, I mean, regarding the pole, he will be definitely looking to give it his best shot, and I think he will take it.
Couple of people coming up in the chat and saying that the Alfa Romeos are up for the win. Abdul saying that Alfa Romeos are up for the win. Definitely possible. Couple has been showing some great pace this season, great consistency as well. He's been pretty motivated this season to do well. I think that applies to a lot of drivers as well. I think Moto Also really on the gas this season to try and make a good impact and maybe even win Tier-1. That would be a great achievement for him considering recent seasons. And yeah, a lot of drivers looking to put in the effort, put in the time, put in the practice. We've had a lot of practice races and stuff happening behind the scenes, I can tell you, where these guys have been, experimenting with strategy, etc. So yeah, definitely going to be an interesting season. I think we're in for a right ripper, and China is going to be yet another example of why these guys are right at the top. We're seeing a couple of drivers now coming out onto their first push lap, so we should see some times lighting up the leaderboard very shortly. Also, a couple of I believe Helium is on the intermediate tires. We've seen that a couple of times before this season already in qualifying sessions, so not too much to worry about there. As we get our first flying lap of this session, a 1:32.4 Ashray gets us going in terms of qualifying the first time lap on the soft tires. In terms of qualifying times, I think we should be seeing somewhere in the low 31s, or maybe the mid 31s. But anything's possible, really. If you ask me, with these guys, we could see the times tumbling into the 30s as well.
Seriously doubt that. No matter how fast these guys are, I think Black Sheep had a 1:30.9. Correct me if I'm wrong. And it's impossible in China to get within 2 to 3 tenths of your time trial lap, because it's just not that kind of track. And we see a spinning car. I think that's one of the Alpha Tauri's. I'm not sure which one. That might have been Cuba Ravi. I'm not sure.
Indeed, we saw Alfa Romeo briefly pirouetting off the screen there as ST comes across the line. I believe he invalidated his lap, so he'll have to have another shot. And that's another thing about China, is the track limits are very strict, especially that last corner, which is really excruciating as a driver, because you put together a really good lap and you're up on your delta. As we see the time stumbling into the 31s, Black Sheep the first to edge into the 31s this whole weekend. 31.991, I believe. Actually, no, I think we saw a 31 in the Tier 3 race qualifying today. So a really good lap there from Black Sheep at 31.9, but that should only be the beginning of the 31s. We should see much faster times.
I think we saw 31.5 in Tier 2 yesterday. I think where Meerkat Initial, correct me if I'm wrong.
I think it was Jacklet Ford on pole yesterday in Tier 2, but yeah, again.
I think they were around the 1:31.5. So I think we can easily expect that from our grid here. And I think Aradhya Gupta set to 1:42.9 on the mediums. But if that's actually what happened, that's a pretty good lap, because then that actually might get him in. But no, I doubt he'll be in the top 10 at that time.
Yep, still many more drivers yet to set their lap times, so you are right in saying that he may not stay there, but as has been proven by a number of drivers this race weekend already, is that any strategy can really work out here. I think that's what I was having a talk with some of the Tier 2 drivers yesterday, and now I just came to know that you can get a good result on any strategy here. You can do, a soft medium, assuming you start in the top 10, you can do, or soft hard, sorry. You can also do a hard soft if you start outside the top 10. Medium hard is also viable. There's a lot of strategic variation here. So, nothing is set in stone. You can really get away with a lot of strategies here. Maybe you can provide some insight into this, alphabot.
So my strategy yesterday was going to hard soft, which I decided in quali, and then I set a few decent laps. They were really bad, and I decided that I realized that I can't go faster than 6th or 7th, so I might as well go for an alternate strategy. So spraying someone knocked me down, then got knocked down to 10th, which still forced my lap tires, so I had to start on soft, which was really painful, but it didn't matter too much in the end because of the safety cars. It really nullifies any strategy, and thinking on your feet gives you the biggest edge.
I think F1 is all about changing conditions, so you're totally right about being on your toes. I think as the race changes, as the race evolves, so does the strategy, and to be able to think on your toes, as you said, is a very vital strength to have in Tier 1 or in any F1 race for that matter. None of the times have changed much. I think most of the drivers have just dived into the pits, do not want to exhaust too many sets of tires, assuming there are a lot of safety cars. US couple goes a little wide at turn 1 or gets on the grass, and gets a little too greedy with the throttle pedal and has a little spin. No problem though, he will recover. But I think the only thing hurt there, as Lando Norris would say, is pride. So little spin there from Kapil, who has still a point to prove in qualifying. Hasn't set a lap as of yet, but I expect him to be up there. But it's not unbeknownst of Kapil to put on a last to first comeback drive. I think
That's Kapil-esque, if I do say so myself. That's what Kapil is known for, and that's what Kapil's great at. I think this race.
Indeed.
Yeah, go on if you had anything to say.
No, I was just agreeing with you. I was just go on.
Yeah. So I think this race is really pivotal. It's like the early trendsetter for the championship, if you know what I mean. Because till now, I mean, first two races, 40, 30 points, you can make up throughout the rest of the season. But when they cross 50 points, that's when, like, then now you'll see the top three emerging, which will, in my opinion, stick out for the rest of the season. What do you think?
I think I do agree with you there. I think one of the major talking points of last season was the fact that Huberabi did clinch the championship, having only got, I mean, he had, I believe, very little points total compared to previous seasons. And I think that has something to do with the attendance as well. You know, most of these drivers do have busy lives outside of sim racing, so can't always get a race in. So we had a number of occasions where we had only 12 or 13 drivers on the grid, and some of the championship contenders couldn't put in a race weekend every time, and they fell back a little bit. But this time around we hope to see good attendance every single race, so we might see the championship going until the last race. Or we did see that last time around, but hopefully we see the points tally being a lot greater, because I believe last time around Huberabi only had 120 or 130 odd points to clinch the championship.
I think he had less than 100.
Yeah, I believe it's somewhere around 80 or 70, 80 points was all that was required.
Yeah, like 87 or 88 or 90 maybe, I'm not sure. But it was definitely less than 100. That's pretty surprising. And so actually, funny story, there was a racer named Helium who joined in for the last 3 races. He ended up winning the 3 races he took part in, and he finished, I think, P3 in the championship. Only doing 3 out of the 10 races.
This was
so
during season 7, right?
Yeah, season 7.
Yep.
He joined only in the last 3, and he won all 3, and he clinched 75 points. Almost enough to bag him the whole title. That would have been crazy.
That says volumes about the consistency of attendance last season. Helium is there this season as well, currently sitting in P12 on a 1 minute 50 lap time, so replicating some wet lap times there. But meanwhile, while we were talking, Moto has opened up a massive margin at the top there, 9/10 faster than Black Sheep on during the push lap that got him provisional pole, a 131.0 from him. Really good lap, or 131.6, my apologies. So 3/10 faster. Black Sheep improves on his own personal time, bringing himself to within a 10th of Moto's provisional pole time. But yeah, as I was saying, Helium is currently in the server in this season as well. I believe he's sitting in P12 right now. But his pace has been hampered a little bit by the fact that we've turned off ABS this season. So he's having to cope with that as well and learn along the way.
Yeah, and I think what Moto, if what he was telling me in VC yesterday when I was talking with him, he said he's going to do 3 laps of practice and not a single lap more. If this is all 3 laps, I'm scared what will happen when he does a full when he practices completely for a race.
Yep, Moto has a knack for setting up the car as well. He's had good feedback from other people in terms of helping them with setup, so he knows what he's doing. So if he can put on a good season, if he can put on a good run of results, did really well in Austria to come back from pretty much dead last to P5 in the end. So if he can put up a good run of results, then there's no stopping Moto this season, because he seems to be right on the pace, and he seems to be giving these faster guys a run for their money.
Yeah, he is one of the fast ones if you ask me. But yeah, I think Moto has that sort of racecraft too. I think that's one. I'm not trying to make any bold assumptions here, but some racers lack racecraft, but they have a lot of pace. I'm not going to name any names, but it's like it's a couple who just relies on his racecraft and a little bit of pace, or you can be one of the racers who just has pace and no racecraft. And we know which one is successful. It's couple.
Yeah, it does show that qualifying is very irrelevant then in the
Yeah.
overall, outcome of the race. But it's always better to be better in the race and have that racecraft and able to, ride out all the various predicaments that you might expect, changing conditions and safety cars and whatnot.
And
You know,
Aradhya is up to a 131.5.
Guys, I think we might have missed something. Couple is driving without a wing.
I believe he's had a big shunt somewhere, so he will dive into the pits for a new front wing, and I think that will be the end of qualifying for him, because I don't think he'll have enough time to, put on. He might just about have enough time to put on a new set of tires, but I don't think he'll do that.
I think he might. I went out at 2 flat and I missed it by around 6 seconds. So I think he'll have a minute more than he needs to get out there.
And then we could see another lap from Kapil, although he will have not as many sets of tires available to him. Obviously, he will want to start on the freshest tire possible, so we might actually see him qualify on the medium tires if he does go out now. That might be possible. But yeah, great lap from Aradhya Gupta to put it on pole position. A newbie, not newbie, maybe that's the wrong word to use, a new part of the Tier 1 roster, an unknown name within the IRC community, and he's really come in and taken the league by the scruff of the neck, putting on some good displays in Austria as well as Portimao. But one other new member that we're missing is Envy, who's not doing this race, I believe. And both of the Ferrari drivers are not there this time around. I was looking for another Ferrari, and I didn't see anyone on the grid. So yeah, both Ferrari drivers unavailable. So the Ferrari boys will be represented by Alfa Romeo and Moto in the Haas. That's going to be it for them.
Yeah. I think Oxygen has been sort of out of sync for... no, I think he did actually podium last race, right? Yeah,
he did get a podium in
He did
Portimao.
behind ST, if I'm not wrong.
Yes, he did. He finished P2, and I believe Danish finished P3 after penalties.
Yeah.
If I'm not wrong. Moto just barely missed out on the podium. So yeah, I believe it was SD for Oxygen and Danish on the podium last time around.
Can you pull up the standings, please? Whoever's... I mean, if it's possible to pull up the standing right now.
1 second. Just give me a second.
There's a command on the telemetry, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Give me just a
Oh,
second.
okay.
But yeah, speaking a little bit about Oxygen, he has had a little bit of a spell out away from the F1 game, so he is coming back and he's gotten into it at the deep end. But he seems to have picked himself up well after a 50-50 lukewarm display in Austria. I think he did really well to pick up a podium in Portimao, a very challenging circuit as well. So yep, drivers standing flashing up now, and Kapil still leading the way, 10 points ahead of Tanish. About roughly the same ahead of Moto as well, so it's pretty close at the top there.
So yeah, as you can see right now, there's like nothing separating the top. No, I mean there's a big difference between 1 and 2, but that can vanish in a second. So there isn't really anything definitive between the top, I'd say 6.
Yep. And early on in the season as well, so everybody's as the championship table is still forming up a little bit. It still has to solidify. It's still it keeps moving. It's very dynamic at this point, so we could see a lot of position changes.
Yeah, and I think we will be seeing a lot of position changes because last time, if any previous thing is something to go off, then we're in for a rocker of a season, because normally in Tier 1 it does come down to the last race.
It always does. Black Sheep Purple in Sector 1, down on his personal time in Sector 2, but does enough in Sector 3 to put himself on pole position, a 10th faster than Aradhya Gupta with 15 seconds remaining in the session. All the drivers will now be on their final push laps. This will be the last opportunity that most of these drivers will have to get in a fast lap. We are on board with Harry Rocks, who has gone purple in Sector 1. It might be his time to shine. Harry, he's had a little bit of inconsistency at Tier 1. I'm not going to give him the commentator's curse. I wish him the best for the rest of his push lap. He's done very well so far. Yellow flags popping up, but this is just drivers slowing down to let other drivers through.
And let's ride on board Harry. Itzel, do you mind taking us through this part of the lap?
So this coming through the snail section here, very slow part of the track. Easy to lose the rear end here. Harry's also gone no assist this season, so it's going to be important for him to be ginger on the throttle.
And you can see he's very cautious through the right-hander, going very close to the curb and lowering his minimum speed a lot.
He is up on his personal time through Sector 2, purple through Sector 1. This might be a magnificent lap from Harry if he can get it hooked up here. This final corner as well, notorious for invalidating lap times, and he's done exactly that. Oh dear, Harry, oh dear. And that was a 131.412, so that would have put him 100th faster than SD and would have put him on pole position. Oh dearie me, Harry. Although we could chalk some of that time in the last corner, he did run a little bit wide, so maybe a 10th or so there. But really, ideally, he would have been on the first couple of rows starting. It would have been Harry's best qualifying position in Tier 1 so far. So it would have been a great lap, and unfortunately, it didn't quite work out that way. A couple of drivers still out on fast laps. Kapil, Aradhya Gupta, and Black Sheep are still currently trying to improve on their times. Aradhya having bolted on a brand new set of soft tires. I believe he's gone through a couple of sets this session already. Comes across the line. Will he improve on his time? He doesn't. 18 seconds slower than his personal time. He may have backed off at some point during that lap. Moto has already finished the session, so that's just his AI lapping because, well, Codemasters being Codemasters. And I believe Kapil is desynced, so that might be the end of the session for him as well. So yeah, SD locks out that front row in the Williams. Good result for him there. I believe that's his second pole position on the bounce. So really good stuff from Real SD, doing really well to pick up the pole position here. Black Sheep on his return to Tier 1 will lock out the rest of the front row. Aradhya Gupta as well done a fantastic job in qualifying. Moto will feel like there's been something lacking from him. He's not that far off, but it's still going to be hurting him.
Yeah, I think SD is really the pinnacle of how we want to. Not pinnacle. I guess he's, in my opinion, he's the best driver on the thing because he has that mix of just immense pace and racecraft. He can get himself out of any situation. Yeah, so I just admire SD for being a great driver. But that was a really good qualifying session. Everyone put in really competitive lap times actually, but I think the overall times were on par with the times we saw in Tier 2 yesterday, so I don't know what to say.
I think China is just one of those tracks where it's hard to hook up a lap. It's really difficult to just get the perfect lap hooked up where you can avoid every potential invalidation track limit and just absolutely nail it. It's one of those tracks where track limits can really punish you.
But we do have Helium on a medium, sorry for cutting you off. So he's one of the top 10 starters on the set of mediums.
I think him, Kapil and Akash are in a good position going into the first pit window, assuming the guys ahead of them do absolutely burn through their tires in that first stint. These guys are going to be in prime position to nick that P1 or at least the first 3 or 4 spots after the first pit window. I think Ashray put in a really good qualifying performance as well. I think he qualified P6, so really good result from him.
I think overall here in China, the medium is just a far superior race tire. If you have a safety car before like the last 6 laps, I think if there's 7 or more laps, it's a clear switch to the mediums because softs just drop off insanely.
Especially if you're trying to fight for positions.
Yes.
If you're caught in a large train, in dirty air, exactly. If you're caught in a DRS train and you just have to kind of hold your... They just die. The softs really drop off after 5 or so laps, and you can't really extract much time out of them unless you're in clean air. So unless you're right on the front row,
or right in the lead after a safety car, it doesn't make sense to pit for softs, so you can just drive away from everyone. You have to pit for the mediums, and the hards take at least 10 laps to get into an optimum grip and temperature window. So they're not really good unless the safety car comes out very early in the race. We saw the hard runners in tier 3 today had really good pace after 15, 16 laps on the hard tires. So maybe that's when they really kick into action. But first 5 or so laps on the hards is just torture.
It is, yeah. And 5, I think it gets up to temperature in 3 laps as we're just getting
No,
off for this formation lap. Yeah, sorry.
Yep. Yeah. No, I thought you said 5 because you thought 5 lights were going out.
Oh, no.
I was a little confused as well.
Sorry, no, I was saying hards get up to temperature like right in their perfect window with within less than 3 laps.
Interesting. I think we've been unable to see many drivers in the other tiers really maximize that hard start. I think you went on the hards after the first safety car yesterday, so I think you might be in prime position to tell us a little bit more about the hard tires. I didn't go too long on the hards. I believe I went on the hards for 6 or 7 laps before another safety car, so I pitted for a set of mediums, I think.
The mediums are the best race tire. I mean, there's no question. They have that great mix of race pace and they have great durability. But hards, so my strategy was actually, there was a safety car on lap 1. So I think the commentators were very confused in what I did. I went into the pits on end of lap 2 because I knew the safety car's going to come in on end of lap 3. So I realized that if I caressed it for 1 lap, I think if I can stretch it for 25 laps on the same set of hards. So that's exactly what I did to try to get myself to the end. And then the commentators were like, this dude is mad. There's no way it's lasting to the end. So that's what my strategy was. But anyway, I got still.
Yeah, that really does show that commentators don't know the full scale of the story. They don't know quite exactly what goes on in a driver's head. So it's very hard to quantify the decisions that drivers make sometimes. But everything is for a reason, huh?
Yeah. But yeah, I think a lap 3 safety car, you can actually make it to the end. Relatively, yeah, not relatively easily, but it's definitely doable because you're anyway going to pull, I think, like 24 or less than 22.
Alphabot, sorry to cut you off here. We might have a lobby restart, seeing that Don has not disqualified, but he's parked up there in the starting grid. This usually results in a lobby restart. I hope I'm not jinxing anything. Yeah, just go ahead now. I mean, this happened last week with Kapil, and even today's tier 3 race with someone. Again, the same thing happened.
Oh no! Oh no!
At this point, we're all used to lobby restarts. Just Codemasters being.
Thank you, Codemasters. Thank you. Okay, if he smacks into the back, then that means that's a lobby restart.
Oh, everybody is avoiding it.
Oh, he's ghosting. That means I doubt it's going to be a lobby restart. Because when it's
yeah, there we go.
Oh, he hit him. Okay, yeah. Okay, that's a lobby restart. GG, guys. Thank you, Codemasters. Thank you.
Thank you, Codemasters. In the meantime, though, we did get a super chat from Dandy Man. Thank you for that, 200 rupees. Get Ripe a Shawarma for his P2. Yep, Ripe did pick up a P2, his a podium earlier today in the tier 3 race. And I think that also is a nice, useful time to remind everyone that you can now contribute to IRC through super chats. So do feel free to, if you are feeling generous, do feel free to shoot us a super chat, and we will read it out here live on stream. So yeah, thank you very much, Dandy Man.
And one
thank
thing.
you. You're welcome, Edsel.
Yeah,
Ripe should be saying thank you. He's gonna get a shawarma later.
Yep, I think we're having a lobby restart. The host just.
And that's a
quit the
lobby
session.
restart confirmed. Yes, unfortunately it is. That's really painful. So yeah, thanks a lot, Dan.
Yeah.
We can if you tell us which shawarma you like, we can tell Ripe, and maybe he'll feel that as a gift from you direct.
Well, if I get a podium this season, he will owe me he'll owe me a shawarma.
And all of that money will be routed through IRC. Thank you very much.
So, although let me tell you and everyone on the stream that IRC tax will be applied, so the 200 rupees won't be going to RIPE, but some portion of it will. Nah,
Maybe. I
I'm just
mean,
joking with you.
yeah.
If you are joining us, do not worry, you're not joined the podcast. We are currently in the process of a safety car. Currently in the process of a lobby restart. So we should be getting back to the action very soon. Qualifying has just finished, and a couple is hopping into the chat, not the VC. He's hopping into the chat and saying, "Hello, hello, couple. Shouldn't you be more occupied by other things right now?"
I think during safety car restarts, I go chill, use my phone, and I only show up when it started because I can't be asked to just sit and wait there for 10 minutes. It's super annoying.
Do you mean lobby restarts or safety car restarts?
Sorry, I mean lobby restarts, not safety car
Oh yeah,
restarts.
yeah, yeah. Lobby restarts, just go like do whatever you want, go there, do something. But yeah, I was wondering how you're gonna do that as safety car restart. You have
I
to be
think
driving.
some people actually do that on the safety car restart. Also, I'm not going to name any names, but uh, people people do be caught lacking on safety car restarts.
Yes, I did pick up a DT yesterday for caught lacking in 4K or whatever the stream quality. I think it's a 1080p. So, um, thank you to Musa. That is not so Masoom for the 40 rupees mental health contribution for all the Robbie restarts. Yes, that 40 rupees will go towards all our mental health, so that we can
We
try
can.
so that yeah, we should be sending that to Cody's rather than us taking it. I think they need to do a better job making a better game.
I think they
This is
have
bad.
their.
This is really bad.
I think they have their stomachs full from their new investment from EA, but we don't comment about that. That 40 rupees is coming into our pockets.
Yeah, we're gonna be putting that into the IRC fund and trying to improve the community any way we can.
Yeah.
Yep. We are still waiting for the lobby to restart, but yeah, couple of guys in the chat pointing out. Enchantress says East or West, SD is the best. So yeah, that I think segues pretty well into the fact that SD picked up pole position today. We are yet to get into the race. I believe this is his second consecutive pole position after getting pole in Portimao as well. So really good job from him to put the Williams again on the front row.
And
And I think if he gets a good start, he should get a clean getaway.
let's grab drink, grab some snacks, and let's go for a 2-hour journey around. Not a 2-hour journey, a 1 hour journey around China. So
Yep.
Itzel, who are you thinking? Who are your favorites?
Yep, I think definitely SD is going to have to be a favorite. Having starting on pole, can't really discount him. I feel like Moto and Black Sheep are definitely going to be giving him a hard time as well. And I wouldn't write out Aradhya, but I've seen a little bit of strategic discrepancy and a little bit of questionable racecraft from him. Hopefully, he can prove us all wrong and get a good result today. That would be a good result, a massive result for him, but also for McLaren because Wilster isn't participating. But Charles, Charles is down in P12. So, should be good points on the board for McLaren if they can make it happen. But anything is possible across a 28 lap race in China, especially, is particularly unpredictable and a challenge for even the best of drivers.
Yeah. Uh, so I'm putting my money on SD, and uh, I said maybe Black Sheep, Moto, and Tanish. Those are the 4 guys I'm putting my money on. That might be too many people, but yeah.
A lot of money.
Haha, yes. And all of it's gonna go to the dumps when we finish the race with Dawn winning.
Yeah,
Anyway,
couple the Chad,
no, Dawn. Dawn is the real Chad.
of
Great girl Chad.
course.
Dawn
If
is
Dawn-
in P14.
P14. Yeah, on the medium tire. Hey, never say never. We've seen crazier things happen.
No, if Dawn wins, I'm actually gonna uninstall existence.
Time to donate all money to IRC in super chat. 10,000 rupees super chat incoming from alphabot. by the
Before
end of this.
alphabot uninstalls its existence, yeah, you should donate your money. Yeah.
Yeah, I donate my money and then find a toaster and a bathtub.
Oof,
Anyway.
wow. Couple.
Damn. Damn.
Damn.
Damn. Damn.
That's
Bit
going
too-
real dark,
bit
real
too-
fast.
Bit too dark there from alphabot, but you know what's not looking dark? The weather forecast, because it's all dry during the race today, and that's going to be how I transition away from that. Currently, everybody else is lining up for the formation lap. Couple of drivers disqualified of the formation lap. Oxygen and couple, I believe, may have come together at some point, and both of them were disqualified. Somebody was asking earlier on, where are the Red Bulls? Well, there's only one in this race. Akash Sonawane in P10 is the only Red Bull. Unfortunately, having qualified in P10, he will have no option to modify his strategy. He has to start on the tire that he qualified on. Luckily, he qualified on the mediums, so he will have a little bit of strategic sort of leeway going into the race. But yep, the server is just organizing itself now. I think the lights are going off in the
And that's
background.
5 lights.
Take us
And
away.
away we go. So I think Black Sheep does get a better start off the line, but then SD and Aradhya Gupta has got a better start than both of them, and he's going down the inside into turn 1 and pipping the both of them and coming all the way up to P1. I think that's a relatively clean first turn. I don't see any incidents like we saw yesterday in Tier 2. But yeah, I think everyone's through cleanly. Moto dropping, I think, 3-4 positions, and Ashray gaining a lot of positions. But yeah, I think everyone's kept it clean.
Yep, we see that front row and those first couple of positions. Top 5 has mixed itself up quite a bit here. SD has lost a position, but Ashray has gained many positions. We will see after the race if any of those positions were, obtained in an illegal manner or, because of contact. But yeah, as you said, everybody got through very cleanly through turn 1. Really good to see that there was some clean racing going on there. But what a start by Aradhya Gupta. He's just shot himself up into P1. Black Sheep and SD got a questionable start. Aradhya just, absolutely missiled his way through both of them, up through the middle, and he was up into P1. But now is going to be difficult for him because China is definitely a DRS train kind of circuit. So we're going to have to see how well he holds that P1 and for how long. SD already having a little look up the inside, but will tuck in for now. It's not a wise decision to make too many erratic moves earlier on, and SD is definitely not the kind of guy to make that kind of last-ditch effort on the first lap of a race.
Yeah, and I think I really commend Ashray getting himself all the way up to P3. I don't know exactly where he started. He started on P6, so he definitely got ahead of some people in the starting, and now he's Oh, and I see a wing falling off. I saw an end plate or maybe a whole wing coming off. I don't know whose. So can we ride on board a few of the top people to see whose wing is off? Don't see a broken wing here, but I saw a wing. Oh, and that's Moto. I think Moto has lost his wing completely. It's completely red. He has no front wing. Oh, so this race has gone from bad to worse after getting a poor start from Moto.
Yep, Moto had picked up quite a bit of damage going into turn 1 there. He's not had a very good start to this race, and unfortunately this will see him drop all the way to the back of the grid. Kuberabi has just passed him. That leaves Moto right at the back, and even more unfortunate for him, there is no safety car currently out or any kind of anything that will string the field together right now, so he'll have to get all that time back on track, which is going to be a bit of a challenge for the Haas driver. Really unfortunate to see though, but if there's one thing that Moto can do is he can put on a comeback drive. We saw in Austria, fought back to P5, and it's going to have to be another one of those races for him.
Yeah, it does, and we see Kapil trying to set up some moves, but I think his Alfa Romeo teammate will let him pass without much of a fight. So that last corner in the race is actually really easy. You can go all the way wide and come all the way back. If you do it smartly, you won't get any penalties, and that's a safe way of taking it without losing time. So I think that's what people are going to start abusing during the race. Yeah, we see Moto coming into the pits trying to I think now his race is, I think he's probably going to put on the hards and go to the end if what I was thinking of yesterday is what other people are thinking of too.
Yep, history dictates that he go
And
on the hard.
he does
tires.
go on the hard.
Yep, interesting strategy from him. I think him and Babaji are currently the only two drivers on the hard tire. I think Baba started on the hard tire.
Cuber is also on the hard, but he started on it too.
Oh yeah, okay. So yeah, Moto is the first one to pit. So he's completed the mandatory stop. He can go now all the way till the end on hards if he can make the tires last. And I think he should be, considering he's in clean air and doesn't have to worry about too much. So the pit window will see him maybe come back into contention for the points maybe. So this should be very, very interesting indeed going until the end. Keep an eye on Moto. His progress will be prevalent towards the end of the race, if not at the beginning.
I think 34 seconds is a bit too much. That's what I think. And Dawn has already got a 3-second time penalty. So my bet on Dawn isn't looking very likely.
The smart money is not putting its money on Dawn, but as I said earlier, some more surprising things have happened. Tanish did overtake the the Aston Martin driver going into the penultimate corner, but then he got the move done right back at him. The stream is looking very pixelated for me. I will try my best. Really good racing there though between Tanish and the Aston Martin driver, both keeping it very, very tidy through sector 1. Tanish will try outside going
and then switch back, and he got slightly nicked on the exit, so I think that kind of compromised his exit, so he's not going to get past here. I think now his next shot is either going to be the straight before at the end of sector 2, or it's going to be the back straight. And we see penalties starting to fall for people. Dawn, Moto and Harry being the victims of early penalties, and we see Real SD also coming back into the lead from Aradhya.
Although Aradhya is sticking within DRS, that will be his aim. He'll try to open up a gap to Astray. Behind Astray particularly has a lot on his mind right now. Tanish goes quite wide there, has to be careful on rejoin to make sure he doesn't spin up those rear tires. He will have DRS. Astray absolutely hugging that inside line like his favorite grandmother, as Martin Brundle would say. And yeah, he's managed to defend his position well there, and Tanish too far back to capitalize on it. Astray doing well in P3 right now. But what happened to Black Sheep? He has also dropped back quite far. Not sure where the incident happened for him, but he's not been able to.
Can we ride on for him to see if he has any damage?
I think we will be having a battle here.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Tanish getting the switchback done nicely. Astray running wide. There's some contact.
Oh,
Astray
and he keeps it on the track. That was really. So he kind of got hit, and then he used him to straighten himself back out. That is That's exactly the tactic I used yesterday to get a move done. I was spinning and then I smacked into the guy and got straightened back up.
I think the stewards will be looking at that
Um,
a little bit more colorfully, but
Caught in 4K.
caught in 4K.
okay, maybe.
But yeah, well held there by Astra. He has lost a couple of positions, so now right in front of his teammate. He might choose to actually let Helium through here if team orders are a thing. But we are riding on board Black Sheep right now, who's following behind his teammate, who is currently disconnected or desynced. There is an X above his name indicating that he's not currently in the session, so he has to be a little bit careful, Black Sheep, in trying to overtake the AIR, particularly notorious around here. So yep, his car ghosts, so that shouldn't be too much of a problem now for Black Sheep, who will gain the position on his teammate. That's not really team orders technically speaking, but he will get past. So up into P8 for the Alpine driver, not having a great start to his first race of the season, having found himself quite far down the order. But yeah, this should be pretty interesting. Now Couple has moved up massively in these opening couple of laps, making a lot of moves, has gotten past Danish
And is now in the podium positions. That's very couple-esque. So yeah, best of luck. I think if he keeps it clean, and I think that Sanch goes for a lunge down the inside, and I think it might stick through the lap, through the.
What Tanish doesn't realize right now is Couple wants Tanish to fight. Something that he may not realize right now is there's a yellow flag going through sector 3. Hopefully that's not too much of an issue. I think that's that's Madhav who is just. Was that Madhav who had just lost it?
I think it was.
Yes, it was a
Yeah,
McLaren. That was Charles Leclerc for sure.
But right now Couple is laughing. Tanish may have gotten the position, he may have won the battle, but Couple is looking to win the war because he's on those medium tires, and all he wants is for Tanish to wear out those softs as soon as possible. We're getting close to that point now where the softs drop off massively if you haven't taken care of it. So Tanish, that might come back to bite him if they keep fighting. Those soft tires definitely not having as much grip as they did in the earlier part of the race. So Couple is going to be really having, he's going to be primed now for the race win. Not that far behind the front runners. They have pulled a little bit of a gap, maybe 2 or 3 seconds, but there's nothing that the medium tires won't be able to compensate in the long run.
I think, yeah, but due to the lobby restart, everyone started on fresh tires. So I think lap 6 to 7 is when they're going to be aiming to pit onto the hards, the soft runners onto the hards for the rest of the race. But yeah, I think Couple has been, honestly Couple is in the net race lead right now, and we see, I don't think Tanish wants to suffer any more on his dead softs. So he's gonna come into the pits right now.
Yep, indeed. Tanish coming into the pits, but more importantly, he left it very, very late. He was right on Couple's diffuser by the time he dived into the pits. Had they been any closer, there would have been contact. But now there is a battle emerging at the front now for the race lead. Might not be the net race lead considering these guys haven't pitted yet, but Aradhya Gupta is giving SD a real run for his money, no pun intended. But yeah, both these guys on 6 lap old softs will be 7 lap old softs as they come across the line on this next lap. But yeah, really good show put on by these two guys, and they've opened up a little bit of a gap to Couple behind, but that advantage will now start to drop off a little bit as those softs start to drop off. Again, no pun intended. But yeah, Couple is looking in prime position to take full advantage of all the incidents that have happened at the front.
And Helium is also looking to capitalize. He's not way behind Couple, and he's also on the mediums. He's one of the top medium runners, and he's also looking at saving his tires, biding his time, and then fighting out with the drivers towards the end of the race.
I think if you were a smart man right now, you would be trying to save those medium tires if you are on the medium tires, because
I think that might be a little contact between Aradhya, but no, I think that was clean. And I think at least one of these guys are going to peel into the pits, if not both. And that's going to be both of them, yes. And is he going to try Sebastian Vettel? No, I think he... Oh!
That was so close.
Talk about cutting it close. Mein Gott in Himmel, as Sebastian Vettel would say. But yeah, leaving it really close. But you can see just how close the grid is. After pitting, they have dropped back to P11 and P10 P10 and P11 respectively. Not much to separate the two in terms of pit stop as well. There's a yellow flag going through sector 3. That shouldn't be too much of an issue. who's that? Oh, that's Shastry has lost it. Coming out of turn 3 by the looks of it. It's a notorious corner. It's very easily caught off. You can get, it's easy to get on the throttle too early. You have to be very ginger. But yeah, he spun around there. That will not be helpful for those soft tires as well. But right now, Couple inherits the net race lead. Yeah, go on.
But I think anyway, he was looking to quit at the end of this lap. So it was better it happened on his softs. Otherwise, might have flat spotted his hard tires and given a lot of tire wear. For if that would have been on his hards. So I think he preferred it right now, if it were to happen.
I think that is a sign that those soft tires are starting to drop off. Not as much grip, not as much left on the carcass as you would say off the tire. So now will be the time when you see all the soft runners diving into the pits. We've seen a number of them diving into the pits for the hard tires now. SD, as well SD, Aradhya Gupta, Kuber Abhi. Okay, Kuber Abhi did start there, but Tanish as well has dived into the pits earlier on for the hard tires. So yeah, these guys will be looking to run all the way to the end now, but it'll be interesting to see what kind of strategy the medium runners go with. As a little bit of rubber banding between Akash Sonovane and Harry Rocks. They are back, and yeah, I think he did get the move. Wow, he got the move done around the outside there by the looks of it. Great move there by the Red Bull driver.
Yeah, so he's representing Red Bull for the team. Yeah, and Black Sheep has actually fought his way back up, but he's still on the softs, which is actually not ideal because he's losing insane amounts of time. But I think he's taking the traffic into consideration because the hard runners are losing a lot of time in traffic fighting other hard runners.
Charles Leclerc lets his teammate go on the different strategy. Ooh, that's a very cheeky move there from Aradhya, just looking to stick it up the inside of Dawn there. I think SD would have told Dawn to hold up Aradhya as much as possible, but Dawn not able to do so, having run wide at turn 4. Just left the door open so much as SD runs wide himself. Puts a wheel on the outside of the curb coming into, I believe that's turn 9 or turn 8, not quite sure. As they come into the snail section, Aradhya will have DRS, so this might be a change for the net race leader.
If he gets a great exit and sets up his ERS and DRS for the main straight, I think he might pass SD here, and that would be a dream pass for Aradhya, inheriting the net race lead from SD. And he does get the move done pretty easily on the straight, but under braking I think SD has gotten him because he went in way too deep.
Aradhya underestimating the effects of DRS there, carrying a lot more speed, 20-30 kilometers an hour faster with the DRS. He will have the DRS again here though, but he'll not want to repeat the mistake that he made coming into the penultimate corner, and he doesn't seem to do so. He's not close enough to make much of an impact anyway. So this is a really good battle heating up at the top, really clean racing here between the two of them. But yeah, Aradhya will be kicking himself right now. Yellow flag in sector 2. We're having a quick look at who may or may not have spun. I think was it an incident? Has Tanish spun again?
Not really sure. I think it might have been Black Sheep. Yeah, he's got a puncture.
Oh, he's pushed that soft absolutely to the limit. Oh my word! I think that's the first time we've seen a puncher on in season 8. I think it's been a while since we've seen a puncher, but there we go. That left carcass absolutely begging for mercy right now. The tire is dropping off the rim. Black Sheep has left it very late with the soft tires.
And he has no wing also.
And he doesn't have a wing.
Oh wait, no, I think that's a glitch. It's showing no wing for everyone.
Oh, I think that might be remedied after Black Sheep. Oh wait, no, but I think Harry genuinely doesn't have a wing either. Is he not? Oh, I'm so confused right now. But Harry, I think he's also one of the last soft runners to dive into the pits. He will now go on the hard tires as well. Very, very interesting there from Black Sheep. Black Sheep left it very late.
I think Black Sheep was trying to pull Yarno off me. I think he only Yarno off me, and those higher level drivers can pull a soft medium around China. That's just unheard of, and I think that's exactly what Black Sheep was trying to do, and he got a little too antsy with it, and he might smack into the barrier, just keeping it away from the barrier. I think now his race is done without a safety car.
Yep, indeed. We're seeing that tire glitching in and out of existence.
And
ooh,
has he gone too deep? Oh, but keeping it out of
He's
the
held it.
wall. Keeping it out of the wall. Oh, and
Oh.
again, and again. Oh, and just okay, perfect.
And he
He's
finally
into
makes
the-
it.
Oh,
He
and he
also
get,
gets
oh
it.
no, and he get a speeding in pit. I believe that's a speeding in pit lane.
Oh yeah, that is.
That is
So
so
I
sad.
will he serve that during this penalty? No, in this pit stop. No, he won't, and he won't have another opportunity. So
And he didn't have a wing, so he was driving without a wing and with a punctured car for a whole lap. That would have been painful. Towards the end of the lap, that would have been okay, but just he had to drive the entire thing without a.
Something tells me he might have gone through a section with where the barriers were close by to the track, and he had the punch, and obviously that pushed him wide into the barrier and took out his wing. But we can speculate all we want. What the outcome is that Black Sheep is now dead last, even beyond Moto, who had an incident on the opening lap. As that is Shalalak diving down the inside of Kubarabi, will pick up another position there, up into the points positions now. Good overtake there. Veteran of the game, and doing a really good job so far.
Actually, to correct you, points are awarded in our system till T15 to encourage racers to not drop out if they're not in the top 10.
That's true, actually. I did conveniently forget that. Thank you very much for bringing that up, alphabot. Yep, that is true. 15 places, all of top 15 get points. So yeah, that's actually really good. That's a good system to get everyone involved right until the end of the race. I like that. So interesting scoring system, and just gets everyone involved and keeps everyone going. So
Otherwise, when you're like P13 and 20 seconds behind, you just turn off the game and call it a night.
or in my case, just run into the back of the last car and call it that way. Yeah. Although that Dan didn't even get that experience, right, Dan?
Why do you even have to go there, guys?
I think
always-
it was an unfortunate race for everyone yesterday night.
Yeah. Except
But
you.
I-
Except a lovely podium.
Yeah, I mean, but it was. Oh wait, oh that was very close. But
That was
Dan,
very
I'm
close.
I'm so sorry for you. That was of no fault of
It's
your
okay.
own.
We move on.
We move. Absolutely.
But you have the pace to take several wins through the season.
I'm actually
and,
kind
and
of
enjoy
excited.
lots of shawarma.
Of course, shawarma's another thing. But yeah, this season I'm trying something new. Like I'm trying to go ABS off. Ooh, Babaji is.
Absolutely kill those hard tires with that spin.
Oh, and I think he might have to bring his pit stop from softs to mediums because they might be pretty short, especially the front left, as you can see in our in-house telemetry system.
Yep, which has been recently improved as well. So great job by the telemetry team to constantly keep the updates coming. Really good. Those guys are doing, working overtime right now, and making the experience on stream better for you as well as us. So a lot of insight from the telemetry as we are on board Shalalak, who's on very worn medium tires. I think actually you can go another 5 or 6 laps, I'd say, before they really start to see the effects of degradation. But at this point, if he's stuck in traffic, that degradation is only going to be accelerated
And we see yellow flag in sector 2 too. Is that Aradhya Gupta? Yeah, that is Aradhya Gupta.
No, he's lost it through coming out of the snail section onto that back straight. Infamous spot for people to lose their car. They're very easy to get on throttle too early, or run a little bit too wide of the optimum line, and then you're constantly scrubbing, and then too much slip angle, and you lose the rear. I think he lost it even before getting onto the fast right. I think it was just coming out of turn 13 or so where he lost the rear. So really unlucky for Aradhya Gupta. He has to drop back to P6. Still a chance for him to recover something in this race, as
Going to go down the inside, and that's going to be a little bit of contact with both of them, keeping it clean through the exit. Please don't tell me they fight through here. Okay, good. So now Don is now gonna. I think he's gonna try to go down the inside or around the outside. Both of them work very well around the first corner. I think he might be trying down the inside, but I think he's a little bit too far.
Yep, he's a little bit too far back to capitalize from that DRS, but he will have to settle for P11 right now as Harry gets a good move done. I feel like Don played it smart by just holding behind Harry going through the final corner, not wise to go side by side through there, although we have seen drivers try it before. 3 wide through there is just to the side. You don't want to do that ever at any point. But Helium now is in a pretty good position. He's on a pretty old set of cards.
Helium's got the new set of cards. It's Babaji in front of him who's on 13 lap cards.
Yeah, I'm sorry, it's very kind of pixelated on my end.
The looks
So-
of it, he's not got his telemetry on. Yep. That will be a penalty coming
That's
his
all
way.
right. Not really too much of an issue for us though on stream, because we do know that he's got DRS open. He looked to the outside and he's got the move done even before the braking zone. But right now, Baba is setting purple sector. Looks like that might be a little bit of a timing glitch. But yeah, Helium getting the move done well before the braking zone, and Baba picks up a 3-second time penalty just to rub the salt into the wounds.
Yeah, and I think Helium this strategy's paid in very well into the hands of Helium, because he just pit for his set of hards from going from the mediums to the hards, and now he's still in the top 4 even after pitting. So I think the top 4 are in another league today.
Yep, they are absolutely flying right now.
And oh, double wave yellows. Who is that? I think that might be Tanish. He's falling down the pack and he is around, but he keeps it going, so I don't think that's going to be a safety card. And he spins it out again.
Oh, those hard tires are done for, or at least
Yeah.
for the next 2 sectors. At least they will be. Oh, that left front is looking very, very hot right now. Yep, that is another set of tires done for Tanish. I believe that's his second spin. We were talking earlier about how he was lucky to have a spin on the softs. This is exactly what he was trying. He would have wanted to avoid spinning on these hards, because he
And
has to
did he
keep them
break
working
his wing?
so long. I believe he may have.
Yeah, it definitely looks like he has.
The double whammy for Tanish right there. Not only has he cooked his tires, he's also donated to the gracious cause of Formula 1 a front wing.
Yeah. So I think right now a safety car is all these guys can hope for towards the bottom of the pack.
Yep, something to just bunch up the pack and have a little reset. This is what everybody will be wanting right now.
Yeah.
Especially the guys in the back, Moto and the like.
But that's especially what the top runners will not want, because then that kind of throws them to the deep end from winning the race to everyone being in the same in a level playing field.
I just saw something in the chat. Streeter mentioning that someone tell Black Sheep that only Hamilton is allowed to win races on 3 tires, not anyone else. A little bit of humor there after Black Sheep's unfortunate puncture, which has left him, trailing behind the rest of the pack. He's currently dead last on a new set of hard tires, but I don't think there can be much that he can salvage from this race. But only time will tell. A safety car can change absolutely everything for the Alpine driver, as Tanish will pit for a new set of tires as well as a new front wing. That was a yellow
Actually
flag.
retired. He's retiring.
He has retired in the pit lane, so there won't be a safety car. So that's good.
I don't
Good
know
that
if he
he
knows
retired in-
that there's points for top 15, because now he could have fought with Black Sheep for that.
I think even then, fighting P14, P15, maybe might
Not
be a bit of
worth
a
his
lost
while.
cause. Yeah, might be considered a lost cause for Tanish, who calls it a day in P16. So now every single person, regardless of where they finish, will pick up points. So Black Sheep will pick up 1 and Couple will pick up 25. So
Will
And
actually
one
pick up 30, because the point system was changed.
and also 1 extra point for fastest lap. So definitely all to play for everyone at the front. Couple is in a great position right now, but we'll have to see how long he can take these medium tires. My apologies. That's about 55-60% wear, so he can
Oh,
do maybe
wait.
another 2 or 3 laps.
Is he going medium soft? I've
It's
not
possible.
expected that. Wait, actually it actually might be.
Although it will depend on how long he can extend the stint on the mediums, because he can't be spending 8-9 laps on the softs. He's going to be not only losing time, but that car is going to be undrivable towards the end. And with the risk of a puncture looming over his head as well, he won't want to go for that. So he'll want to extend the stint on the mediums as long as possible, which
I
means he's
think he
going to be
can make it
losing
to lap
time.
21 and to the end of lap 21 for sure. And someone else has lost it. I think that's Black Sheep at the end of sector 3. He's almost
Oh
lapped
dear.
now, if not already lapped. I'm not sure. I
I
think he
think
might be retiring in the pits now.
I think Black Sheep will also be considering calling it a day, because that will be the end of that.
Yeah. So I think if Couple can pit at the end of lap 21, he'll have a fresh set of softs because no one actually used anything in poly, and he can go at least 5 of the 7 laps at full throttle and then kind of cruise for the rest of that, and that might actually lead to a win for him. But Akash Sonawane is also might be in the same strategy, and we see Kubu Rabi also spun around.
Very close to the wall there. Am I right in saying, Dan, that he's not got his telemetry enabled because we can't see
Yeah.
the condition of his front wing as
And
he's spun it again?
as long as he keeps the car on the track, that's not going to be a safety car.
It's going to be double waved yellows though, as long as he's off track, which he has now gotten himself back
And
on track.
We see Moto still actually coming back into the points, and now I think he might actually try to get to Dawn and finish P11, grabbing 3 or 4 essential points for him.
Anything to keep him in the constructors battle. But right now it seems to be SD and Kapil, I would say, are the two solid guys right now looking to end this race on a high note. I think Aradhya has definitely got a chance as well. But after that little incident of his, how much time he may have lost to Helium, we'll never know.
But I think Helium is
So-
also in a fresher set of hearts, so that may play into Helium's hands. But if Kapil can pull off his softs while keeping the throttle on the softs and keeping the mediums also good till then, I think Kapil might be our race winner. Instead
all
of
to
this.
play for in this final 9 laps of racing then.
Yeah.
Akash Sonawane also has found himself in an interesting position. He's currently about 14 seconds off Kapil, but he's on the same strategy. So it's going to be interesting to see how he can benefit from it. But right now he has to defend from SD, who's on a different strategy. So it's interesting to see how this will pan out for him.
So anytime SD is spending behind Akash's time that he doesn't want to be spending, because SD's tires are much faster than Kapil's at this point, because his Kapil is on really old mediums compared to fresh hards. Only 10 lap old hards, sorry, not fresh. So that he wants to get past Akash as quick as possible while not getting a penalty too.
So in case you guys missed it, Don has made up a position. Moto has made up a position and has overtaken Don here, and so has SD on Akash Sonawane. I think Kapil has also gone to the pits and barely manages to slow down on time. I think Akash will also be looking to dive into the pits now. Akash is extending his run on the set of mediums.
And Kapil is actually on the softs.
Yep,
I
that's
don't know
a
if that's the
medium
right call
soft.
because I don't know if that's the right call because last time in the last race when we got off racing only on lap 21, the softs were absolutely shot towards the end with some guys softs reaching up to 80% tire wear. So I don't know if that's the right call from Kapil.
We still have 8 laps to go. I mean, these guys have extended a set of mediums till lap 19. I'm sure we can expect them to go on to go on with the sauce till at least 10 laps. I mean,
Although an interesting
Yeah, although an interesting, sorry to cut you off there, Dan, but an interesting caveat to consider there is Kapil has been running in free air for most of those 19 laps, whereas now he has to fight through the pack. So that's going to change how those tires wear. He's not going to be as, he can't be as easy on the tires as he was in this first 20 laps. So how long he can extend while conserving tire life is going to be a very different dynamic.
Yeah, but I think his podium is locked. It's set in stone right now, but now he's just going for the P2 and P1. So I think Kapil, right now I'd say at least he's 2 seconds a lap faster than everyone else, if not 2.5. So if he can pull that for around 5 laps, then I think he'll be 4 laps. Then I think he'll be in a good position to win the race.
Absolutely. It's really heating up now in terms of strategies. We're seeing a number of strategies coming to play here. We're seeing the guys on the hard tires currently leading the race. We're also seeing the soft runner in Kapil. I believe that's Aradhya Gupta, who has he overtaken him or has Aradhya pitted? I'm not quite. I believe he has overtaken him. Oh, I believe Akash Sonavane has pit. I was wondering why Kapil had moved up into the podium places. Akash finally pits. Might little bit too late, I believe. I think he may have a little bit of trouble keeping up with those medium runners ahead of him. Their tires are not as old as he would have liked them to be. So it's going to be interesting to see where he finishes overall. But Kapil definitely a man on a mission right now. He's only 3 seconds off Helium, man. He's got the pace on those soft tires and he's really catching them in and reeling him in right now.
Yeah, I think now he's dropped his gap from 4-ish seconds to less than 2 seconds to almost less than 2 seconds. Yeah, now less than 2 seconds, around 1.9 right now. So I think Kapil actually might be able to take this if he's able to close into SD. But SD also, don't forget, has much older tires than Helium, so that might aid Kapil in getting past SD.
I mean, if he's catching up to Helium at this kind of pace, imagine how quickly he's catching up to SD as well. Although,
and we have double waved yellows. Can we write on about Harry? I think Harry might have had a, and yeah, Harry has had a picnic. He's in the grass.
I think if he can just stay on board Helium right now, he's the closest to inheriting the net race lead. This should be a very interesting battle, and how long these guys stay together and try to battle for position will also dictate how quickly Kapil will be able to recover, or Kapil will be able to catch up to these guys and recover the time lost due to his pit stop. So it's going to be very nail-biting finish for us today, considering these two guys are going at it for the final, or going at it for the top step of the podium, and Kapil is going to be right on their diffuser in just a couple of laps on that fresh set of soft tires. So don't go anywhere, folks. It's getting interesting.
Yeah, it really is. And I didn't see that Helium is less than 1 second off of SD. I thought he was more like 3 seconds. So now Kapil, they're all in the DRS train of each other. Kapil also dropping the gap down to less than 1 second between himself and Helium. If he can pick up DRS here, that firmly establishes his DRS, and then he can pull on from there.
Yep, absolutely. It's a battle. All 3 podium positions are up for grabs right now. At any point, these guys could make contact, and if they start spinning around, then Aradhya Gupta could be nipping, could be stepping in at that point and claim that final position and steal the podium away from one of these drivers. But these guys are probably the best when it comes to racecraft, so we definitely shouldn't see that happening. Helium could be in for his first race win of the season, assuming he can hold off Kapil for a period of 6 or so laps. Kapil, every lap is going to be
Helium losing it on the exit almost. He's lost a lot of time towards that exit, and I think Kapil might have the grip to go around the outside of SD through here, but I think his better judgment was to skip it. But actually he might go down through here. No, I think he's going to stick here, but he might send a move down this half straight.
Yep, turn 4 is going to be the next opportunity for him, assuming he can get that ERS, but then SD is no pushover when it comes to defending.
He's weaving. I don't know what Kapil is doing. I'm confused because
Kapil is just trying to debate SD into defending the wrong line. I think we've definitely seen that before. Obviously, SD is only allowed to move once while defending, but Kapil can move a number of times. He can weave.
well, not to his heart's content, but within reason. He can leave as many times as he wants. So, yeah, just trying to confuse SD, let him, not, because through turn 4 there's a number of ways you can overtake. You can overtake around the outside with the tire advantage that Couple has right now. So SD has to be on his toes. But I think this this straight right here, the back straight right here, is going to be the deciding factor. I think this is going to be the nail in the coffin for SD. Couple, who's done a fantastic job so far this race, is challenging now for the top step of the podium, moves out of the DRS, and it's a very, very routine overtake. That little oversteer moment from Helium may be crucial in deciding the podium positions. Helium currently in P3, and Aradhya is okay. No, he's considerably far behind. Won't be able to capitalize from this. But what a drive by Couple! And as you were saying earlier, it's definitely very Couple-esque what he's doing right now.
So I don't think we can count out Helium or SD right now, because Helium has much fresher tires than SD. Helium might be able to get past SD, and Couple also. His tires are going to drastically fall off in the next few laps. So that also might open a window for another fight for the lead again.
I think what SD will be determined to do right now is just to stay within DRS, use whatever ERS he has available, use any last amount, well, not last amount of life, but use whatever life is left in those hard tires to stay as close to Couple as possible. Although it's not going well for him, he's losing couple of hundreds here and there through every corner. Basically, he has to hang on at least until the back straight, and I don't think that's going to be possible because he's just he's 9/10 off. This is a high crucial traction zone as Akash and I believe that's Ashray are going wheel to wheel.
SD has fallen out of the DRS.
Oh dear, SD has fallen out of the DRS, so not going to be helpful for that's going to help Helium actually, who probably has a good shot of overtaking SD down the backside. SD might be in the process of losing 2 positions as Akash and Ashray are playing a little bit of Aji-Baji as they're coming into the braking section of the snail section. Ooh, good overtake there from Akash, but he will find himself at the mercy of DRS down the back straight.
Yeah, and Couple not only extending himself so far that he's out of DRS, but also pulling 4 tenths after that, extending his lead to 1.4 seconds from SD. So if you can extend it, I think, to around 3 seconds, he's going to be in for a comfortable race win.
Yep, absolutely. Helium is also now getting close to SD, 4 tenths off the Williams driver right now. SD must be questioning his strategy
can we ride on board Helium, please? Yeah, thank you. So I think he's going to take it safe. I think he's going to take it safe, just keep as close as possible, because the dirty air makes the second sector really tricky around here. So he's probably going to try to do damage limitation through the second sector, and then he's going to try to set up a perfect exit and get him in the third sector back straight.
Towards the end, we should also get a little clarity on the penalty situation. Couple of guys carrying a couple of penalties here and there, so we'll have to see how the positions change with regards to the penalties as well. The penalty situation will affect the final finishing order, assuming they are within the required, if they drop back considerably because of the penalties. But now Helium is well within DRS, 4 tenths now separating the 2 drivers, but I don't think he'll get the overtake done right here. Oh, sorry, 5 tenths between the 2 drivers, but I don't think he'll get the overtake done here. He has got a lot more going into the braking zone, though. He's made up a lot of time there, and now the main straight will be his next opportunity, assuming he can get a good exit out of the final corner, which he has seemed to do so, but SD did as well.
I think he might still have enough slipstream DRS plus ERS to go around the outside. It's always risky around the outside, but I think SD has done a really good job of covering both the lines, going a little wide and then reeling back into the inside line and covering off both the lines. So I think doing that for the next 2 laps will kind of set SD up for keeping the P2.
Yep, absolutely. But more importantly, SD should, well, at this point, SD was not really concerned about losing time to Couple. I was about to say SD should be cautious about that, because Couple's pace could really drop off these last 2 or so laps because of those soft tires. Obviously, he's been pushing hard to try and get the position, but he is now 2.5 seconds clear, so all he has to do is just cruise home and use the ERS on the straights, not push the tires too much through the corners, especially through sector 2. Just take it a little easy because he's almost home and dry.
Yeah, I
I
think,
believe
and I think that's Akash Sonawane spinning out on these last few laps. So that's really unfortunate. Let's see if Helium can set up a move through here. I think he might be a little too far back,
He's a
especially
bit too
with
far back, but yeah, go on.
SD covering the inside line and then using his weave to get to the outside line and setting up that corner. I think the front car can weave, I think 3 times on a straight, if correct me if I'm wrong.
I think, assuming they're not closely following each other, they can move, to their heart's content. But if they are right very close to each other,
And
they
they
can
bang
only
wheels.
move once. Helium will slip down the inside, but ST will retain the
Is he
outside
gonna,
line
is
going
he gonna
to
break
turn
in?
two.
Oh! And Helium staking out, and I think ST might go through for an inside lunge down here. I think yes, or outside. Is he gonna keep the pace around the outside? No, Helium covering him off really well.
Oh, very
But-
well held there
but
by
now-
SD.
But now switch back from ST. Now he's got the inside line, and he's gonna keep the P2 position through this fast left-hander, and now he's kept it at least to the third sector because it's going to be very tough to pass here. So commendable effort from ST on considerably older tires.
Great stuff there as well from these two drivers here. The Aston Martin Williams driver going absolutely wheel to wheel right now, but I think it might be a little bit in vain for ST because they are much closer on the coming onto the back straight than they were on the last lap. So
But I
now
think
it
Helium might
be
have compromised his exit. I don't know.
Dirty Air might have a part to play there as well. He might actually be too far back. You are right, Alphabot. Will he go for the lunge down the inside? He will.
He won't. I think he has a
Consider
better
it.
judgment. And we
Yep.
can see ST is flashing. How about we run on board the ERS cal just to see how much ERS our drivers have. So ST looming around the 10 to 12% range, while I think Helium does have a bit more. I'm not sure though.
They are coming onto the final lap. Though Kapil is, almost home and dry, currently driving away from the rest of the pack in P1, while SD and Helium are fighting for the second and third place honors right now. Helium in definitely a stronger position. He's within DRS. He's also got the pressure tires, but SD has got a great sense of racecraft and also the great ability with the car as well to defend and place the car at the right places. So it should go down to the wire. This should be a very exciting finish, but Helium will look to get the overtake done on the back straight. He will not want to leave it too late. Yeah, still following each other pretty closely as Helium gets very sideways, but holds the car well.
That's it for Helium. Podium finish. Podium finishers are going to be Kapil, SD and Helium, but that was really close for
Well,
Helium.
you can't
And
call
that
it too
mistake-
soon, Alphabot. Mistakes can happen, and even though it's SD, we know that he's a driving god. But yes, even God in racing is capable of mistakes. Let's just wait. He's left 2 more corners left to go.
I think they're going to caress the car and caress the tires and just get home. And I think Kapil is going to cross the line to become the race winner of the Chinese Grand Prix. And Kapil weaving across the line. Commendable race from Kapil. That was really amazing. And SD and then Helium, that's our podium finishers. And we still have a battle between Harry and Moto. If Moto can get past here, I think he might be able to, but I think penalties might end up playing a part on this thing. I don't know how many penalties these guys
Get
have.
those tires as well. Those mediums are screaming in agony right now on that front left. But I think it should be enough tire for him to get home. Harry will hug the inside, but oftentimes I have seen that the outside line is a bit faster if you can squeeze the driver on the inside, as Moto has done there. He's gotten the overtake done, but how will the penalties affect the final standings? Harry will finish ahead of Moto after penalties are considered. So great racing there from the Haas driver, but he'll have to settle for P11 after a torrid race. Don also coming through the final hairpin now for the final time. He's put on a good race, not too much, not too exciting for him. He's kept it clean, but unfortunately not quite on the pace of the front runners. He will come home in P12. Shalalak will bring the car home in P13. Kuberabi in P14. I believe Black Sheep is the final. I think Black Sheep has already finished the race because he had been lapped already. So yeah, great result for Couple. Another comeback drive from him. I believe he started P13 or P14. So yeah, insane drive from Couple there to absolutely nail the strategy as well. And you could say he got a little lucky finding himself in clean air on those medium tires, taking them as far as he did. Required him to be in clean air, and he executed that to perfection. So I think driver of the day is deserved for Couple.
Yeah, and that's, yeah, like we said, it's couple-esque. Coming all the way back from down there, coming to take the race win. That's only one. That's only something couple can do.
Yeah, fantastic result there for him. So Couple finishes P1 after starting 9th on the grid. He started on the medium tires and played the strategy to perfection. SD, having qualified on pole, will feel a little bit hard done by after he finishes on the second step of the podium. And Helium, after a great comeback drive from P5, will finish on the third step of the podium. Aradhya Gupta will feel a little hard done by after that little spin, but he finishes and comes home in P4. Oxygen in P5, Ashray in P6, another brilliant result for him. And yeah, that's pretty much the rest of the grid as it stands. I think Black Sheep will be a little hard done by as well. So really good race. Not as much in the way of controversy and safety cars and crashing and laugh out loud moments, but it's definitely representative of Tier 1 that all that stuff didn't happen.
Yeah, I think Tier-1 is in a class of its own compared to the other tiers.
Yep, absolutely. As we can get started with the podium interview here, I think you can start talking to some of these guys. Couple is not here yet, but you can talk to Helium and SD.
Hi, yeah. So Helium, that was a really close ending. We saw you got a little out of shape on the last lap. Otherwise, you'd have taken SD right on down to the end of the back straight to decide who's going to come in P2. But that race was overall pretty clean for you, and you stayed pretty clean. And I think you got the result you were hoping for. What can you guide us through your race?
Yeah, I mean, I saw there were a few crashes in the front, mainly Black Sheep and Motor, so I did go up a few places in the beginning. But I knew I was going to have a quiet race. Couple had a lot of pace. I couldn't keep up with him, so I just kept it to myself, kept my race to myself, and then in the end I just lost it on the double left-hander. Great battle, SG, that was amazing. Yeah, that's what I have to say.
Yep, great
Yeah,
job
man,
from
it
you
was
there.
great job. It was an amazing race. And glad to see you on the podium.
Me too. First time this season.
We were talking a little bit about how you really put on a great show at the end of last season to come very close to winning the championship after winning the final 3 races. And I think this season you've had a little bit of trouble. You've had some starting trouble, let's say, with ABS off as well. So I think you've finally hit your form, and hopefully you can carry this forward. So great result from you, man.
Thank you. Thank you. I also hope so.
Now we will move to SD, who finished on the second step of the podium. SD, great race from you there. Were you a little bit disappointed that it wasn't the top step for you today?
Not really, dude. I'm really happy with the result, to be honest. Did not expect to be on pole. Of course, I was. My initial plan was to start mediums, couple did, and try to do a medium to soft, because I knew that that's going to be the best strategy around here, given there was no safety cars. But again, at that moment, my medium tire lap wasn't the best, so I decided to do the control strategy that is soft to hards, which is the safe bet. So yeah, I started on softs. I knew that I was going to be on the back foot, given there were 3 medium runners at the end. Try to keep my nose clean, Aradhya jumpy at the start, but again, try to be as close as possible using the least amount that I can get away with. After that, Aradhya had a spin, so I was quite alone. But yeah, given that the other title couple had a bit of an incidence, or a good amount of incidents today, I'm quite happy with the result.
Yep, I think at some points during the race, you definitely would have been looking over your shoulders and wondering when at what point Couple is going to be coming into view, and eventually he did. But yeah, great race from you, man. I think the money was on. I think everyone's money would have been on you today to take the win. But I think you can settle for P2, and I think you're comfortably in the lead of the championship. So yeah, great race from you.
Yeah, I think I would like to correct you. I think Couple will still keep his lead. But yeah, yeah, good race from Couple and Medium as well. That was a good part at the end.
Yeah, my apologies. Yes, Couple will retain the championship lead after a comfortable margin coming into the race, but the margin has been blown open once again. Couple, what a race from you, having started P9. I think you were one of the last people to set a lap time, but you set a lap on the mediums, meaning you started on what SD described as the optimal strategy and made it pay off. How was your race?
It's good. It was good. I mean, this was actually little tamer result, if you will. If the lobby had not restarted, it would have been a little bigger margin, hopefully, because those softs would have been so much more dead, and those hards would have been taken down to their, last thread so much more. So in that sense, I think SD is lucky to only be 3 seconds, and then because of the desync 1.5 seconds, I'll leave it at that. It's a good race though.
A great result from you. I believe that's 2 wins in the season. Maybe not. This one was a lot more deserved. Obviously, race one, you got a bit lucky with the safety car as well. But this is one result that you can look back on and say that you deserve to be there right at the top. And as you said, the delta should have been even greater. So great result from you, P1 in the race, and I believe you've opened up the the driver standings at the top. I believe the gap has opened up, and I think you got the fastest lap during that final barrage on the softs as well. So great race from you.
Yeah, great race,
Great.
Couple.
Thank you.
And I think the word we used a lot during this race is Couple-esque. You just come out of nowhere, take the race win, and then you don't practice. Next week you come up, take the race win, you don't practice. That's
Hey,
Couple-esque.
I don't know who's feeding you the information that I don't practice. I am practicing nowadays. Okay, that's the only reason I am in a better spot compared to season 6 is because
I had heard
in
you
my in the
didn't
previous
practice,
games,
so
in the previous games, it used to be in F1 2020, you can just pick up a time trial, set up input, and the league race will work. That just worked. Unfortunately, that's not the case with 2021, so I do have to tweak it, and that is where the little bit of hard work goes in. Not at all, to the extent of the other drivers, but yeah, bring it on. Rest of
Yep.
T1.
amazing race, man.
Long season ahead, and Couple has solidified his position at the top pretty well. But I think that is going to be it from us today. A fantastic race result for the Alfa Romeo boys. I believe Harshit picked up solid points as well in the end, finishing P10. So great race from all these guys. Alphabot, any final thoughts?
No, I think this race was really good and it was much cleaner than we expected. I mean, this is the cream of the crop of our IRC, but that was really clean race, commendable racing from everyone, and it was a great race to commentate over.
Absolutely, I agree with you 100%. If you have enjoyed the stream, do make sure to like and obviously subscribe to the YouTube channel if you want more content like this. You will find all our social links on your screen right now. Do make sure to join in on the fun by joining our Discord as well. The community is ever growing. And yeah, I think that's going to be it from us today. Thank you guys very much for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next round, which I believe is at Jeddah. So that's going to be a saucy race. See you then.